Guys, welcome back to the channel today. Now, were any of y'all gonna tell me that this show was gonna pull an Uno reverse card and suddenly become super fun? Because I kind of love this episode today. Yo, none of y'all were gonna tell me, huh? I definitely can see where people say that the comedy is in this series. I can see the comedy now. I've seen a lot of people actually compare it to Overlord, and I definitely see that. I definitely think Ainz and Sid are actually pretty similar characters when you kind of break down what they're doing. Oh, that's right. His name's Sid, by the way, because this motherfucker got isekai'd. He got freaking isekai'd in this episode. He literally did the Rudy and went to the other world, and now he's a baby growing up, dude. Like, well, this episode was extremely fun, actually. It changed my opinion on the show. I think I like it more now. So without further ado, let's just get into it and talk about the Eminence in Shadow episode 2 today, because it was definitely an episode. So our episode begins with our newly isekai, newly named MC Sid being reborn into this fantasy world. And right away, he has all his memories, of course, because of course he does. This is a fucking isekai. And he realizes that magic is in this world, and I can use it to better my plans. So, straight out the womb, he starts enacting his plans. Now, being reborn as the son of Baron Kagano, an aristocrat who for generations was pumped out dark knights, fencers that enhance their physical abilities using magic, he already has a good leg up on what he's trying to do. He already has a good starting point. And everyone has high hopes for the Kagano heir. But surprise, it's not him, because his sister is apparently a super giga chad and takes the spot right out of him. So he's reduced to being the average ordinary Dark Knight in training background character A. What a mouthful. But double surprise, at night he moonlights as a vigilante as he violently cuts down all these bandits, bro. And I'm like, okay, we're doing this. Sweet, let's go. All the while donning a slime bodysuit. And I gotta admit, guys, it looks kind of cool with the things he can do with it. He effortlessly takes out these bandits. And he really is just like a kid living out like a fantasy that he's having right now. And I kind of love it. It's really fun. It's actually a fun dynamic. Now, after taking out the bandits, he notices that they had a cage, and upon looking into the cage, he sees this blob monster, as he says, "You've started to rot, but you're still alive." He states that this is kind of just like magical overload. Are you possessed? And upon realizing that, like any sane, rational person would do in this situation, he decides, I can find a use for this blobby slice of meat right in front of me. I'll figure something out. Oh, he also just started to inject it with magic and tried all kinds of things that didn't work in a period of exhilarating experimentation. And then after 1 month, after he's finally able to succeed in containing the magical overload, we get the typical anime thing where this blob of meat turns into a beautiful girl. Because why the fuck not? Why not, Every show needs booba. And this scene's hilarious to me, because as she's waking up, he literally has to tell himself, like, oh shit, she's getting up. Alright, stay sharp, me. This is your first performance as the Eminence in Shadow. It's freaking hilarious, man. He really is just putting on a show and an act throughout the whole show. And it's really fun, actually. As she wakes up and he says, I see you have awakened. I've broken the curse that has fallen upon you. You are free now. As he starts saying that, yes, you had a terrible curse that was cast upon you and the other hero's descendants. Yes, I know you're confused, but surely you must have heard of it too, the fairy tale recorded in the scriptures, about the 3 heroes who defeated the demon Diablos and saved the world. You see, that demon, with his dying breath, cast a curse. But someone has twisted history and turned you into objects of scorn, calling you possessed. And the one behind it all is... yes, the mastermind is, as his eyes just start darting back and forth because he's bullshitting the whole time. As he says, no, it's too soon to speak the name. If you knew, you would only be in danger. But of course, she's like, nah, you gotta tell me. I don't care if there's danger. Let me know. And at this point, he's like, the Then it was the cult of Diablos, a group of zealots who are plotting to revive the great demon. They never come out in the light of day. My mission is to remain in the shadows and put an end to their evil schemes. As he literally almost calls himself the stylish ruffian slayer again. As he transforms and says, my name is Shadow, he who lurks in the shadows and hunts the shadows. My path is not an easy one, but I must fulfill my mission. Child of the heroes, are you prepared to walk my path with me? And upon hearing this, she starts explaining about what got her to this point. Because, of course, we only have about a minute in our show this episode to explain her backstory. She says that when I fell ill, when I was struck with the curse, I lost everything. My only future was to waste away as a hideous beast. But you saved me. So I will give you my life, and I will punish the guilty with death. As she accepts his proposal. And guys, this show is so freaking campy. I love it though. I kind of love it. It's my kind of camp. It's so over the top. But I love that they're playing into it. They're not like shying away from it. Because if you're going camp, guys, you got to go full camp. Like, we got to get to it. That's how a series becomes fun. And this series is very fun to me so far. I'm really enjoying it. And it's here that Sid comes up with the name to call their organization, the Shadow Garden. Oh, your name's Alpha now, by the way. I like that more, so that's what you're called. And the very next line of dialogue actually kind of had me cracking up when I was watching it, as it says, 3 years passed after I brilliantly ad-libbed my way through my first performance. Basically, I bullshitted my way into getting an underling. As we transition to him actually sparring with his sister, who's the big shit of the family, the big shot that everyone has all the hopes for. But triple surprise in our episode, Sid is actually much, much stronger than her. You see, in his past life, in the Age of Information, he was able to fuse all kinds of martial arts together and optimize them. But of course, in this world, he has to play it up and act like he's weaker than her because he has to play background character A perfectly if he wants to be ready for the day he knows will come. Now, actual little serious note here for once in the video, but I think his sister actually has a general idea of what's going on, you know? I think she doesn't believe it to an extent, but I think she kind of understands that something's weird with this kid as she touches her neck that he almost cut off in that one moment of their training. I think she does have at least a little bit of an idea of like, maybe he's hiding something. But we may never be able to know if that's true because on the very next day, the day before she was supposed to join Midgar Academy, which shout out to the author, by the way, he clearly likes Final Fantasy. But the day before she's about to join the academy, she gets kidnapped. Dun, dun, dun. But as they're walking away from the room, we see one of the maids shapeshift into apparently another member of Shadow Garden, as Alpha's been pretty busy. She's been collecting members for the squad as if she was adopting abandoned kittens, and they're already on the lookout for his sister Claire. Now Beta tells him that we have determined the locations of their hideouts, but we don't know which hideout is the one where they're keeping her. As Sid literally just throws a knife on the table randomly and says, that's where she's being kept. As she says, wait, but there's nothing there. Wait a minute, it can't be. Preposterous. These cryptograms were a bluff? As she says that, Lord Shadow, I believe there is a secret hideout in this location after all. You're brilliant. And he just stands there like, I knew it all along. Like, it's so ridiculous, but I love it. I can definitely see the comparison to Ainz. I definitely can in this situation. Of how he just stumbles his way onto the right answer. This goofy motherfucker. As he says that, contact the Seven Shadows. We move tonight. And it's here we transition to his sister actually locked up, trying to be intimidated by the person who captured her. As he kicks the wall and says, you can still dodge that while locked up in magic ceiling chains? You must have had a good father. She's like, no, actually, I was taught by my brother. And then she starts going on this little, I guess, just explanation dump about her and her brother's relationship. As she says that when we fight, I always beat him every time, but I'm always learning something from his sword. Yet he never learns a thing from me. That's why I pick on him every day. And he says, well, if that's the case, I'm going to need to learn more about this brother of yours. And it's here, bro. She does like a complete 180. And this scene gets wild. 0 to 1,000 in a second. As she literally rips one of the chains out the wall, swings it at him, mutilates her other hand to get it out of the chain to try to attack him, and starts screaming that, I'll kill your beloved family, your friends, everyone you love. And this man literally just punches her in the face and knocks her the fuck out. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell just happened? Yo, brother complex much? Like, what the hell? 0 to 1,000. But everything ain't sunshine and rainbows because they have intruders at their location now. And it's the Shadow Garden. And they come and they really do just like mess everyone up. It's kind of wild. They say they appear out of nowhere like shadows. And as he's running to go address the situation, the guy that's giving him the briefing actually gets his head cut off as he runs into them, and they declare that we are Shadow Garden. It is our mission in life to annihilate the cult of Diablos. We know everything about the revival of the demon Diablos, the hero's descendants, and the truth behind demon possession. And this guy gets freaked out like, the cult of Diablos. How do you know about that secret? As he goes and attacks them. As they start fighting, and she's just playing with him, saying, I won't kill you. At least not before you tell us everything you know. But this guy literally says, nah, forget that, and looks to me like he pops a pill that gives him like demonic energy, as he gets a little power up and attacks her again. But he actually uses this situation to flee from here, as Beta says, should I follow him? And she says, no, don't worry about it. He's heading right towards him. As Beta's like, yes, he planned it out. Lord Shadow is so brilliant. As we just transition to Sid, and he's like, yo, bro, I'm fucking lost down here. This shit's a maze. As he actually runs into Sid and attacks him. And this scene, I have to admit, is actually really cool. Actually, as he blocks his sword. He blocks his sword with the tip of his sword, so their tips touch, bro. Different genre of anime. But it's actually really cool. As Sid literally just says, your lunge is weak. Your fighting has absolutely no finesse. Allow me to give you a master class on the correct use of magic. Lesson 1. Concentrate a minimum amount of magical energy in your feet for a burst of speed. Lesson 2. Once you've gained the proper distance from your opponent, speed and strength are unnecessary, as he literally just bats his sword aside and gets right in his face. And lesson 3, I'm only just getting started, as he stabs his sword into his chest and delivers slash upon him. As he says that, I don't care how strong you are, the darkness of this world is so much deeper than you can possibly imagine. As we get a bunch of flashbacks to all the horrible things that have happened in his life that drove him to this point. As Sid literally just smirks at him and says, then I'll dive deeper, as deep as I can go. But this guy won't accept it, as he downs more of those demonic pills, I imagine, transforms again and comes at Sid. But Sid's had enough, as he bats his sword aside and says disgraceful, and draws his own sword and prepares to finish him off. As Sid does one slash and strikes him down. And as he's dying in this moment, we actually see the pendant he had around him open up, revealing what appears to be his daughter, as his last sights before he dies. And upon finishing the job and seeing the locket that he had, Sid actually decides to take it with him. And it's here we transition to the next day, and his sister's not exactly happy about the situation. But she's very tenacious, and she quickly acts like nothing ever happened as she goes to the royal capital. And the look she gives him as she's leaving is actually priceless, like, you little shit. As we transition to a scene of Sid looking out to the sunset, saying, I wish I could go to the capital too, but I'll get to go there in 2 years, I suppose. I'm sure there's someone who holds the title of main protagonist, and even someone who's the final boss. In the meantime, I'll put Alpha and the others to work. But Alpha quickly tells him that the hour is here, it is our time to leave you. And he's just like, wait, what? Shocked about this as our episode ends. And now, I know I was having a bit of fun with the episode in the video today, guys, but I actually do enjoy it. I had a really good time watching the episode. I was laughing a lot watching it. to be honest. I was not expecting this, to be honest, after last week's episode, but I think this is actually a good change of pace. Like, this show is fun, as I've said throughout the video. This show is pretty fun, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys are enjoying the reviews for it too, because I get to be a little goofier, and I kind of like that. So let me know what you thought of the episode down below. You know, I would actually like to hear that. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, and have a blessed day. I'll see you guys.